How you guys doing on WLVU? And you are tuned in. It is Thursday night, 9 o'clock, and we are live. This is Then, Now, Whenever? Right? Then, Now, Whenever. Is that what we're called?
That is what we're called.
That's what we're called. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight and every Thursday. Hey, you know, we do have, like, show music, but, you know, that I couldn't get it going for whatever reason. I guess I'm just losing my mind, dude.
It's okay. I'll add it in post.
Oh,
you know what? Let's rewind. Let's start it over. We're gonna do another take.
Okay, here we go. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Blah, 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 blah. Here we are.
All right.
How's that? Did that do good?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We fixed all of the problems that we had.
Yes. Last week, what did we talk about?
Last week we talked. Oh God, what was last week? Was that Dolph Ziggler?
It
feels like it's been a month since that episode.
Yep,
My week has been so long.
Because we had the guy.
Yeah.
We had
Good old Greg.
We had the Greg on the show.
Wait.
What?
Are we gonna get Greg this week?
Are we gonna get Greg this week? We're not getting Greg this week, unfortunately. No Greg this week, but he will be back. He will be back.
Yes.
And sometime in March. It's gonna be a mystery.
You know that it's already in March.
Oh wait, we're in March already. Oh
yeah.
You know what? You're right.
So literally anytime, when you least expect it, Greg is gonna show up. Because that's what Gregs do.
That's what he does.
That is what he does.
He's like yes. It's like Mark Henry-esque, but not quite.
Yes.
Hey, you know, so we had Elimination Chamber.
We did.
That was a thing.
Oh yeah.
And
it was mostly a good. Well, it was like 60% a good pay-per-view. And then stuff that I wouldn't want to watch on Raw. So there you go.
What do you think was the least interesting thing for you?
The Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy confrontation started off good because I thought they just weren't going to have the match.
Yeah.
And then, they had the match.
You know what?
I've seen that match. I didn't like it the first 7 times they did it, and there have been no steps forward.
Right.
They've got to get to the point one of these days.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I always feel bad for wrestlers. You know, when they're working a match.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're doing the best that they can.
Of course, yeah.
I'm
never mad at the wrestlers for the bad booking.
Right.
That's the thing. I understand you're putting on a weekly program. It's hard to come up with new ideas every week, but maybe don't use permanent marker on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
You know, just...
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be... There are other ways to get from point A to point C than to just do B for 7 weeks in a row.
That's fair. I don't disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, and here's the thing. I already know the easy argument, you know, for fans out there, is that, but I feel like, you know what, that like the wrestlers, they have a job.
Yeah.
When it comes to performing in the ring and doing the best that they can, telling a good story, yada yada.
Yeah.
But I feel like we have a job as fans to be respectful and to be good fans, because to a degree.
Finish it.
Because the easy thing for people to say is, well, the counter is, well, if they were doing a great job on the ring, then, you know. But I don't feel like that's mutually exclusive.
No.
And I'll tell you why.
What's that?
Because, first of all, on a side note, and I could go off on this forever. I hate when fans chant boring.
Oh, come on. Yeah, never.
That's the worst. Yeah, that is horrible. Like
any disrespectful chanting, like the one WrestleMania when they started doing it, it was kind of funny because I think it was Big Show versus Sheamus, and it was a clear sign of like, this is not what we want on one of the most exciting nights of the year.
Yeah. And
it was sort of an amusing like aside where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe the crowd is doing this. That should have been a one-time thing.
Yes.
Like it is so entirely. Actually, Randy Orton I think was in that match. It was him against one of the two.
Yeah.
Because Randy Orton.
Yeah,
he's plowed a rough road.
I just feel like you have to you have to be somewhat classy or respectful as a fan as well.
It's a good idea, yeah.
And so, you know, one thing that has been an issue at 2 pay-per-views in a row. Mm-hmm. I've been to live events before.
Yeah.
Not just wrestling. I've been to concerts.
Okay.
I've been to, you know, comedy shows. Right.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for everybody out there. Okay. Spoiler alert. If you bring and blow up a beach ball, security's going to take it the first chance they get.
Yeah, the beach ball stuff is...
And so...
You know, doing the wave, like, at the very least, you should try to enjoy the event. If you just show up, if you spend however much money it costs to go to one of these shows, and then you ignore it, That's on you.
Right.
You have made a huge mistake.
But don't distract everyone else. Take it away from them, because now during that match, right, when the crowd started getting really like restless and was doing other things, that's because these guys are trying to do that, trying to tell a story in the ring. They're two wrestlers. Matt Hardy, of course, is veteran. He's made his mark. Yeah. Anyway, and then there's clearly you don't know what's going on, but then you realize during the reaction what they say is they're starting chanting like, "We want the beach ball." Yeah. And
I thought they were chanting "We the people" at home until I looked it up on Twitter later. It's like, oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. And so I'm like, wow, like really? Yeah. You know what I mean? And then Matt, of course, does a good job trying to play to it. Yes. You know what I mean? Right. And with the wave, same thing. Yeah. So it's going around, and that was really frustrating for me as a fan.
Yeah. I would always like to believe that I am a positive fan. Like, that's what I strive for. Sometimes it's easy to get bogged down by the negative and just be like, oh, God, that match. I did it, like, less than 5 minutes ago. Yeah. We all heard me. Yeah. I'm not living in a vacuum here. But it's just frustrating because Matt Hardy, especially the Broken Matt or Woken Matt character, has been so good elsewhere, in somewhere else. Not going to name names, but there's been nothing the entire time he's been here. WWE is a company that tends to like to show its work, where they don't want to just take something from somewhere else and expect you to learn about that history elsewhere. Like, they don't want you to ever think of anything but the WWE. Right. So they try to bring something in and then create it again from the ground up. And so far, they have done... He laughs. He laughs a lot. And he's stuck in a feud with Bray Wyatt, which another guy, if I may continue to rant here.
Yeah, and then we're gonna jump in.
Bray Wyatt is a guy who I was so excited about.
Me too.
And he has all of the potential in the world, except that
they don't know how to book him.
Yeah, like, he has been just booked as a constant disappointment. I would love to see his win-loss record. I'm sure somebody has noted it somewhere.
There's a great site for that, actually.
It has got to be... Well, the thing is, it's probably not that terrible, because he does win, not a decent amount, but probably 40%, which isn't so terrible. But it seems like for every match that he wins, like big matches, he loses another 3. And it just makes him look like garbage. Every time he comes out, it's like, I'm going to change your... I'm going to just eat your lunch and change your world. And then, nope.
He eats your world, and they change his lunch.
Yes. Right.
I don't know.
Maybe that's where he got the whole Eater of Worlds from, because he got it mixed up, and then they took his lunch, and he's been cranky ever since. Yeah. Regardless, it's two characters who have had disappointing runs, and it's difficult to see them bump into each other and see no progress. Right. So it is frustrating every time they don't take another step forward. I hate them a little bit more. And I don't want to. I want to love that program. I felt like when it could be a match made in heaven. Nobody could bring out the broken Matt Hardy character better than Bray Wyatt. Like, he is designed to create that kind of a character and make it interesting and believable. It hasn't happened yet, and it's been, 2 months? Yep. That's a problem.
It is a problem, and you know what? It's one that hopefully they can solve soon, and I think it'll be interesting once Jeff comes back into the fold. So let's see what happens.
I'm hoping that they're just in a holding pattern until he comes back.
With Brother Nero, and so, well, listen, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Tonight we're going to talk a bit about the WrestleMania 25 and 26, the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania, and of course Mania 26. Specifically, it's the showcase of the Immortals, and we are going to talk about the legendary matchups between Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker.
Oh my God, I wish somebody had told me beforehand. I would have taken notes. I'm kidding. I took all of the notes. But I got 1,000,000 of the notes.
Before we do that, we've got, let's take a look back at this week in WWE, shall we?
Shall we? This week in WWE, Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman dominated the Elimination Chamber, but only one left with a win because Roman always reigns. Ronda Rousey tossed her boss and Triple H ate a table. Sasha Banks told Bayley to step off with a boot to the face, and Bayley stepped off the apron to leave her partner high and dry. Uh-oh! Seth Rollins has pinned the Intercontinental Champion. Finn Balor has pinned the Intercontinental Champion. John Cena can't seem to catch a break, unless you count getting 2 championship shots in 2 weeks. The Riot Squad was there. The Fashion Police solved the murder of Big E, rendering a show on the USA Network obsolete. And Big E had strong words for the Usos. And that's what happened this week in WWE. in that promo. It was real good. It's a good promo. Thank you for doing the heavy lifting here.
It's all good. Do me a favor, tag anybody and everybody you think that would be interested in wrestling, like all of your friends and whatever.
Alright.
This is how we gotta bring the people in, guys. Gotta market. As soon as you're ready, we'll bring us back in.
You got it.
Good?
Do I have to post?
Yes.
Did it.
Not yet. Stuff.
Wait till after the chorus.
Oh, I'm gonna bring this down. Jess is gonna let me know when we can come back in.
Pretty much any time.
All right, guys. You're listening, by the way, to a little bit of Placebo, which this song "Running Up That Hill" was used in the promos for or leading up to this match.
Well,
leading up to Mania 25.
No, that was for 26.
Oh, 26. I'm
Yes.
sorry. So
It's a great promo. Look it up. I believe WWE posted it as like a look at the recent Shawn Michaels' recent time with the Undertaker or something like that. If you search for "Running Up That Hill" Undertaker, you'll find it.
So,
It's so good.
so this week, of course, when we spun Clicky Von Wheeler at the end of last week's show, it told us Showcase of the Immortals.
You mean the big spin, Clicky Von Wheeler?
The Big Spin. That's his nickname, I hear.
Mhm.
That's his gimmick.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you know what? You never know where he's going to land.
that's right.
I don't really know where I was going with that. But,
I'll take it.
by the way, we're not getting paid by WWE. Impact Wrestling. That was that place that... that
You know, I didn't know what to call it. If it was GFW or TNA or what was going on.
I don't know. But,
Yes.
No, but seriously, so, episode 5 of Then, Now, Whenever.
Yes.
Well, our Whenever is going to be... we're going to talk about the story here between the legendary matchups of Undertaker and Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
And, boy, I mean... You know, and I'm going to get into this, with some of the information that I have here, but, really, you could argue that this is the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, the match at 25.
It is absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it is the blueprint, and I'll get into that a
I
little
gotta
bit
tell
more.
you, I do not know what match you would put up against it to even contest it.
Yeah,
It is head and shoulders one of the best matches I've ever seen.
I just don't. The reason I say that, I agree with you. By the way,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it is the greatest match I've ever seen. I put it there because there's always somebody who, whether it's because of their hardcore fandom of a certain wrestler, says like, oh this.
Yeah.
So if I'd
there
be
are
curious
some
to know what you
emotional
guys
favorites
think.
out there. Yes.
Yeah, so if you're on if you're listening on WLVU and you want to go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/thenNowWhenever, send us a message or comment on the live stream video here, or when you have a chance. Let us know, if you think, and I think you'd be hard pressed to find one, but if you think there is a better match in WrestleMania history than WrestleMania, the 25th anniversary, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, which wasn't even the main event, and again, I'm going to get into that.
Oh, sandbag the whole wrestler.
It did. Comment. Let us know. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Is a better match if you can even find one to suggest. But
yes.
So let's take a step back here.
Yes.
Okay. The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
They had some smatterings, but they had 3 matches. They had a 3-match feud in 1997. Of course, there was the Bad Blood, the first Hell in a Cell. Was involved in that, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if you realize this, and I don't know if a lot of our listeners realize this.
Okay.
But the reality is, keep in mind, those guys have been there together for a long time.
Yeah.
Aside from that 3-match feud in 97,
Yeah.
they didn't wrestle again until 2009, 12 years later.
Right. Well, you figure Shawn Michaels was gone a little bit.
Yeah,
with the back injury.
Yes.
But even then, they had 6-7 years.
Well, when he
where
came
they
back,
could have done something.
Well, that's what I'm
Crazy.
saying. So, even if you jump ahead to 2002 when he came back, which I'm going to get into,
Okay.
but there's 2002, 2009.
Yeah.
Even at that point, Undertaker was still there very much full time.
Yeah.
Never had a match. Nothing.
That seems insane to me.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just like we were talking earlier, and we won't go off on a side tangent on this, but it was just made real to me in a promo on SmackDown by the Usos that They've been with the company 9 years. They feel like a mainstay with the company. They've never been on WrestleMania. Ever.
If I can add another fact to make that even more excruciating,
Please.
I read, unverified, but somebody said that the Usos are now this is the longest that a tag team has been together in WWE history without breaking up ever.
I believe that.
Like, consecutively.
I believe that.
Like that.
9 years.
The Usos have been together longer than any other tag team that WWE has ever seen, have never made it to the main card of WrestleMania.
And you know what?
Absurd.
I believe that they will be this year, but
Yeah.
until they're there,
Right.
because injury could happen, whatever.
Oh, God,
This
yeah.
is insane. So, okay, so,
Yeah.
but let's get back to this. So,
Okay.
by now, most of you, longtime wrestling fans, longtime WWE fans, you know the story of Shawn Michaels. You know, he's arguably the greatest in-ring performer of all time. Certainly the greatest in-ring performer. You'd have to say of the Attitude Era. His attitude was a problem. He had a pill addiction, and it reached its breaking point. If you didn't know this, the breaking point for that whole thing,
Yes.
was actually the night of the final Nitro.
Really?
Yes,
Huh.
in Vince's office at the arena,
Mm-hmm.
where Raw was.
Yeah.
On the night of the final Nitro, the top guys like Triple H, the Undertaker,
Yeah.
those top guys, they were watching the final Nitro. They wanted to know what was going on and
Right,
wanted
right.
to see how things played out.
Right.
So they were watching it in Vince's office.
Yeah.
So then, Shawn Michaels ends up literally stumbling in. This is, by the way, this is all like verified stuff. Triple H actually talked about a lot of this too in the documentary that they did.
Yeah.
From WWE did on Shawn Michaels.
Right.
And they talk about how he came in, and I mean, he was stumbling, like falling all over. He was drooling on himself.
My God.
He was a mess. And the Undertaker just is quoted as looking at him and looking at Vince and looking at Triple H, just saying like, can you believe this?
Yeah.
And while they had their past where they were kind of, when HBK was kind of a jerk, with his problems, his attitude in the Attitude Era.
So I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, it was just getting so bad with his problems, and so anyway.
At this point, was Undertaker like a locker room leader? Like, was he?
Oh, he had been back in the Attitude Era with the Bone Street Crew and the Wrestlers Court and stuff.
Okay.
That started back in the Attitude Era.
I don't know the timeline so much for the Attitude Era. Everything after John Cena showed up, I am now an expert in.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You can't really see the wink on the radio, so let me say the word. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. So, so anyway, so subsequently,
Yes.
that and the Undertaker is basically where he was like, I can't. When you reach that breaking point, it was actually subsequently after that he was let go.
Oh, okay.
HBK was basically told to kind of like go away and not come back until you've prioritized your life and cleaned yourself up.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna kill yourself.
Right.
So he left.
Yep.
He's gone. By 2002, of course, he kicked the habit. He found God. He found his smile again, and now he's back in the ring. There were of course some skeptics as to whether or not he had actually turned over a new leaf. Was he being sincere? Was he being genuine? And how long was it going to be until he just turned back into the old Shawn Michaels backstage with all of his garbage and antics now?
I do remember watching back then and just thinking it was a one-time thing. That he was coming back and...
Right, and the Triple H thing with him was supposed to be a one-off.
Really?
It was actually supposed to be a one-off. It turned into 8 more years of arguably the greatest wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
What a gift.
That's it didn't feel like Shawn Michaels was going to be a regular thing, and then apparently he lasted for quite some time.
That's it.
I know. What is this? 2009 and 10, I believe, is WrestleMania 25 to 26.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, like that is a good amount. That's almost a decade. An extra decade of Shawn Michaels we didn't think we were going to get.
Yep. So now let's skip ahead a little bit more here, and let's go to so by 2007. These two guys are the elder statesmen.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, he's been back now for 5 years. They still haven't done any work together. Really.
Right.
Okay. But by now, these guys are the elder statesmen of the WWE. In fact, by 2007, they were the only 2 active wrestlers on the roster that were also on the first episode of Monday Night Raw.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
So now you're talking 14 years after the first Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and these guys have been wrestling before that.
Oh yeah, they were around for quite some time.
Yeah. So I mean, these guys are legends. You know, Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers. And now they're about to embark in 2007.
Yeah.
Each of them individually on the second prime of their careers. Some wrestlers that we'll talk about on other episodes and whatnot. Some wrestlers aren't fortunate enough to get a prime.
Right.
In their career.
Yeah.
You know, and no, that's not a Transformers joke from a guy who loves Transformers.
You know, you hurt me.
Yeah.
Because, I wouldn't have called you on it.
Yeah.
I'm not the Transformers guy here.
But now they're moving into their second prime, essentially. They started the year 2007 off being the last two guys in the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And they ended up putting on a 10-minute clinic.
Yeah.
A clinic. In 10 minutes, two guys who were you could have easily said, these guys are like washed up.
Right.
At that point in their careers, they put on a clinic for the last 10 minutes. And like I said, it was the first time that they'd even shared a ring in 10 years together.
Yeah.
And it just reminded you how good these two guys could be.
Yeah. Sort of
in the ring together again.
What's your whistle like? Oh, I want more of that.
So
can I get some more of this? Yes.
It plants the seeds.
Yeah.
So did you have anything you wanted to mention there before we jump right into this now?
Trying to think. In watching these matches, I watched the matches for this today's show, so that I could. And I wasn't sure if Greg was going to be here, to be honest. So I did.
Wait, is Greg going to be here?
He could show up at any minute. If Greg happens to show up, my plan, because it's hard to explain the emotion of a match without actually going through a match, and I'm hoping it's not too dry, honestly. But I have done essentially a play-by-play.
No,
I've tried to keep it brief. I've tried to keep it exciting. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not.
And if it doesn't work out, hey, this is a mistake I won't make again.
No, you know what? It's going to be great because it's our show, and we'll tell you what's great.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's how it works. But anyway,
it sounds good, so let's go with it.
Yeah, that's right. So 2 years later, now we're in 2009.
Yes.
And it seems like all the pieces are in place for a logical rematch opportunity from their brief meeting in the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Right. It's the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania.
Yep.
It's their home state, legitimately their home state for both The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Both of them have resided there for a long time. I wonder if Shawn Michaels is from there.
Yeah, that is an interesting little point. I wonder if that's why it came together.
Absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, I remember having a discussion with John, my buddy John, at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, when they were leading up to Undertaker, I'm like, oh, well, that makes perfect sense. You want to sell that WrestleMania out.
Yeah.
You have two guys from Texas, legends, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Yes.
Most people probably went into this expecting a good match.
Yeah.
A good match from two guys, future Hall of Famers.
They were still going.
You could still have it. We got something special.
You do not have to tell me that. Yes.
Right. No, but I'm saying
we are revisiting
for those who have never listened or never watched this.
Yes.
You're good It is one of the things that I put in here.
An exemplary match.
One of the things that I put in my notes, and I was going to say it later, but I'm going to say it now, which is this.
Okay.
This match supersedes almost anything you could put in front of me from pro wrestling's history or present.
Yes.
And I would argue future, but you have to see. But my point is that's a match that if you took somebody who has never watched pro wrestling before, and said, listen, I just want you to watch this and tell me if you find it intriguing at all. I dare you to find somebody who watches that match and isn't at least somewhat invested as they watch that match.
It does make me wonder. I feel like it is a good enough match that anybody who does not hate wrestling in their soul and will never give wrestling a chance, you would watch that match and you would love it. I do wonder if it would have the same impact without feeling how important the streak had become by that point. It's one thing to be told, like, oh, Undertaker's streak is a big deal. It's another thing to have seen it be built in the last few years prior to that into its own beast.
Yeah.
Where I kind of feel like that is a lot of what made took the match to another level. It's not just can Shawn Michaels beat The Undertaker. It's can Shawn Michaels end The Undertaker's streak. is this the man who can take this down? When Undertaker is known at this point for like being unbeatable at WrestleMania, like whatever it takes, he is going to pull out every stop. He is going to kick out one extra time. He is going to make it work.
Yeah.
So
all right. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's take a short break.
Okay.
We're gonna come back, and I'm gonna play one of the themes from from one of the build-ups. To
this is actually just latter day Undertaker. When he did get a little bit too old to go.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's a great song, and I feel like it'll set the mood nicely.
Yep. And then later on, of course, we're going to play some fantastic music by another local Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania band, The Beautiful Distortion. Oh, nice. So you're going to want to stick around for that. So anyway, thank you guys again for tuning in tonight on Lehigh Valley Underground Radio, WLVU. Of course, if you're tuning in on Facebook, or if you watch the video after the fact, we are here every Thursday night, 9 o'clock, after the shows we watch, and we talk. We talk pro wrestling from John Cena's debut to the present.
Yep.
And we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the WrestleMania 25 match and then some. So anyway, stick around. We will be back with more then, now, whenever, live on WLVU, Lehigh Valley Underground Radio.
All right.
Hello, guys. We hope you enjoyed this video, whether you're watching now, watching later, whatever. Let us know your thoughts. Again, what match do you think is better than HBK Taker at WrestleMania 25? I don't think you're going to find something. I know Jesse doesn't either. But let's hear your argument. We can always talk about it next week.
I got nothing. I know this is just as real as the radio show, but I feel okay. I feel like we're friends because it's Facebook. I am having like terrible acid reflux right now, and it is painful. I'm having a rough time. It's not going to stop me from doing what I got to do here.
I don't know if it's going to help.
Oh,
but would you like me to hit you with this cowbell?
Always.
Do you think that would help your acid reflux? I feel like, well,
no.
You say no.
I don't think
it will. But I feel like if I hit you hard enough and it knocks you out, you won't even be thinking about the acid reflux.
That might affect.
You'll be unconscious.
That might affect how well I can read this play-by-play, though.
But will it solve the acid reflux problem?
I don't know. If you have acid reflux and you're unconscious, is it still acid reflux? Alright, give me a shout.
Well, okay, here we go.
That hurt more than I wanted it to.
Really? I really thought I hit you very, very lightly.
It was so light, but I didn't realize how solid it was going to be.
I am so sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine.
God, I'm so good. You probably deserved it.
You barely hit me, but at the same time, for some reason I thought it was going to be like, a much lesser feel.
Let me see your phone there. People are commenting on my post, and I'm curious to see what they're saying.
All right.
About our show.
Oh yeah, do it.
And this way we can answer some of these questions. Here we go. Let's go to do it.
Red literature. We're reading about the show on the show.
On the show? With the thing?
Well, I was trying to do Inception, but instead we're gonna do some laser cat stuff.
Laser cats.
Yes. Oh man.
Anyway, so
if we're gonna listen to this much of Johnny Cash, we should have listened to more of that placebo song.
Yeah.
It is a Kate Bush cover, by the way.
Kate Bush.
Yes.
Oh, it's a Kate Bush. Kate Bush. Kate Bush. All right, let's see what we got here. By the way, thank you guys for sticking with us, tuning in, and what we got. All right, guys, Ain't No Grave official, that's for sure. and anyway, hey, thank you guys for listening. You are tuned in to Lehigh Valley Underground's only pro wrestling show. We are then, now, whenever. My name is Shawn Michaels, joined, of course, by my main sidekick here, Shark Uppercut, Jesse Mack, and then later on we'll be joined by what is he? I know his name. What's his gimmick?
He's the Big Spin.
The Big Spin. Clicky Von Wheeler will be joining us later on, helping us choose next week's topic. We are talking tonight, and we're just about to dive really into the showcase of the Immortals, but specifically we're talking about the matchups between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 25 and 26. And so let's talk. Let's spend some time talking about 25 here, and then we'll talk a little bit about 26.
Yeah.
But specifically, talk to me about 25. So
okay.
So there's the build up,
and it's having watched the match again very recently. I had forgotten a lot about the actual build toward it.
Is this specifically had to do with the chamber? I'm sorry. Is this the one where...
No, that was 26.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, 26... I'll actually say this for it. I feel like 26 had a much better build. It had a much better story, but 25 was a better match.
Okay.
But because each one had their own, and because the rematch built off of the first match, it's not as good, it's not as classic, but it builds off of it in such a way that it is a classic in its own right.
Okay.
I am giving away the cow here.
No,
I am giving away all of my end notes.
So let's talk about it. So tell me a little bit about the build-up.
Actually, I oversold my knowledge on it. The main thing that I forgot about was that he wore a white suit.
It was like Heaven versus Hell.
It was Heaven versus Hell, and Shawn Michaels in that white suit is just a vision. Like he looks wicked while also looking holy, which is an amazing and great thing.
And that's what Shawn Michaels is so good at doing.
Yes.
Even when he's good, in character, don't sleep on Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have the RKO out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. No, for me, the innovator of a move that just out of nowhere was the sweet chin music.
Yes.
And
he doesn't have to tune up the band every time.
That's it.
He loads that boot and he's ready to go.
And it was great. The visual at WrestleMania 25. He's on this platform riser that's got him up in the air, and there's all this smoke, and the video boards behind him are all like clouds rolling and everything. There's this heavenly light coming down on him. Yeah. And yeah. So go ahead. And then of course he hits the bass.
Yes.
Yeah.
May I read my piece?
Please.
I hate to make this so dry, but I don't know how to jump in and out of this.
Go for it.
Because it's prose.
Go for it.
And I am a fancy boy.
Fancy boy.
But feel free to interject with thoughts or questions as I go. As you had mentioned, Shawn Michaels lowers on an elevated platform as though he's descending from heaven, complete with angelic choir and white lights galore. The boy even stops for a quick prayer before he gestures for his pyro. He's wearing funky bronze gear, especially egregious because this is, in quotes, the silver anniversary of Wrestlemania, and also because there are only 2 dudes in this match. Why are you wearing third place metal colors? It seemed weird.
Odd.
Yes. The Undertaker.
Before you get to Undertaker's thing, what I was starting to mention though is the cool thing for me is they have this huge angelic thing, and at the end of the day, you like I talked about, you don't sleep on Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Like, let's not be mistaken. Like, he's found God. In his personal life, he's cleaned up.
He feels like he is the lightness to stop the darkness.
Yes, he's the light to stop the dark. He's the one that's going to end the streak, and he comes down and he has this angelic music, and the platform lowers, and then it gets to the bottom.
Yes.
And then as he steps off the platform, it's like, oh, by the way, don't forget, I'm still mother effing Shawn Michaels, the showstopper, the icon,
Mr. WrestleMania.
Mr. WrestleMania.
Yes.
And as soon as he steps off that platform, all the video boards flip, and that music kicks in, and Shawn Michaels' theme music plays.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, that was cool,
that's the guy.
But it's showtime.
Yes.
So I'm sorry.
It's time for me to turn on. Yes.
Yeah. So I loved that. I did love that so much.
In contrast,
yes,
the Undertaker shows up and just does a spooky. Because he's the Undertaker.
Right.
There's a great deal of video lightning and plumes of fire and fog. Always with the fog of this guy. The corner of the Titantron features a giant moon, emphasizing the feud between day and night, between lightness and dark. A throwaway note: Shawn Michaels' tan in Taker's blue mood lighting makes his face look as gross as a human can look. And no, thank you to that. I do not want it.
Okay.
That popped out at me as Undertaker was coming down. Like, oh my god! Like something about like the way his complexion it didn't carry the light well. Before the bell rings, you can see the clash in attitudes. Undertaker ready to go, fire in his eyes. Shawn Michaels calm, centered, almost stoic. But once the bell rings, Michaels is a jackrabbit, hopping around the ring and staying out of range. He's able to capitalize for a moment. But when Taker gets him, he throws him painfully on top of the turnbuckles. Yeah. I thought he was going to go out, but he just landed on top and then popped back down. It was very painful looking. Shawn politely requests that The Undertaker gives him a kiss on the wiener in that classic DX style, but Taker declines by way of violence.
Shawn Michaels had 2 words for him.
Yes.
Suck it.
Oh. I don't like saying that. I've never been a DX guy, and I still find that whole thing really weird and gross.
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah. The early minutes of the match belong to The Undertaker. Big punches, power moves, the old school rope walk. Michaels fights back by attacking the knee, trying to slow the surprisingly agile big man. He tries to end it early with a figure 4 that he gained Mega Man style by retiring Ric Flair a year prior, which would be a silly thing to do if he's actually trying to win with it. But the further damage being done and the mind games played by dominating him make it a smart move.
Mm.
Oh, but Taker can still punch.
Of course.
He can still kick, for now. He throws Shawn into the corners and smashes him every way he knows how. He does a big boot into a leg drop. It's good enough for Hogan, but it's not enough for tonight on the grandest stage of them all. Shawn is able to reverse a rush into one of the worst crossfaces I've ever seen, but after a time, Taker is able to power out and slam him. For all of its perfection, that crossface, when you do a crossface on somebody, crippler crossface prior to this, but you don't really want to talk about that guy generally. The opponent should be on their chest. And for some reason, Taker, for most of it, is on his back still, and he's just, like, being wrenched. It's like, dude, what do you... it looks awkward and painful.
Yeah.
And, yeah, a low point of the match. But really, don't let me take away from it too much. There's a nice sequence where Shawn is laying in chops, and all it's doing is making Taker angry. But all of his wild punches are ducked, and Shawn keeps laying in the pressure. Taker's able to Taker's able to go for a chokeslam, but it's reversed. Shawn starts up a super kick, but Taker falls to the mat to avoid it. Shawn tries for another figure 4, but it's reversed into Taker's own submission. The triangle choke.
The triangle choke, yeah.
The Hell's Gate.
Yep.
The action spills to the outside, and that's when business, as old JR likes to say, is about to pick up. Shawn Michaels attempts a moonsault press from the top turnbuckle to the outside onto a standing Taker, but Taker sidesteps and swats him out of the air. The thud is sickening. As Michaels tries to regain his bearings and get back up, Taker is able to roll back into the ring and do his signature sit-up, where he is just dead out, pops up, he bounces off the back ropes, and hurtles himself over the top, which I still can't believe Undertaker can do. That should not be in his arsenal.
Yeah.
He is huge. Literally just hurls himself over the top rope to deliver a magnificent dive to Shawn Michaels on the outside. But HBK pulls a cameraman into his path at the last moment and escapes impact. And
I remember watching that.
Taker dives headfirst onto the ground right in front of him.
Because is that where his foot hits the rope?
He pretty much
catches the rope in one of those matches, and he basically ends up going like up and down,
like an arrow.
Yeah.
And so there's a cameraman who is supposed to take this fall,
and nothing happens.
And you can see him in slow motion in the replay, rushing forward, like, no, please don't
watch
die.
That again. You can see his foot get caught on the rope, and you're like, oh no.
It is a disturbing trajectory.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
He was okay.
Over a minute passes as the announcers note that Undertaker is not moving. There's a very real feeling that he could be seriously hurt. It was a wicked and scary dive, and no one wants the match, nay, the Undertaker's streak, to end like this. That is, except for his opponent. Shawn Michaels screams at the referee to start the 10 count for Taker to get back into the ring.
Which is great on Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels kneels in the corner begging, even praying that the Undertaker can't answer the count.
Interesting thing here.
Yeah.
Remember, this is supposed to be, heavenly Shawn Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
But he's totally... The streak is one of those things. The Undertaker is always the good guy.
Yeah.
Because you want to see that streak live on.
Right.
And so,
it doesn't matter how pious he is.
Yeah.
It is...
He wants to win this match.
He needs to win this match.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So
he's praying that the Undertaker can't answer the count, and he can win the match in this very moment. He does not want to go on any longer. But as the old cliche goes, Taker slides in right before the ref can say 10. But it's a cliche because it works.
Yeah.
It's a fine moment. Michael starts to get fired up, tuning up the band for his super kick finisher Sweet Chin music. As the Undertaker... I am bad at talking. As the Undertaker tries to get back to his feet, Shawn is man-possessed. He fires off the kick only to miss and meet Taker's hand around his throat to be lifted up and smashed into the mat by a thunderous chokeslam. It's only good enough for 2. Taker lifts Michaels up for a tombstone piledriver, which is about as finishy a finisher as he's got. But Michaels is able to slip behind him.
And Taker's like, wait, how does that look like?
Right.
How did you kick out?
Oh, no, he didn't kick out. He was able to...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes. It's when you lift him up and he's inverted, Michaels was able to use his momentum to pop over his shoulders.
He didn't actually hit it, right?
No, he did not hit that one. He grabs for the throat again, but Shawn Michaels is able to step back and plant a super kick right beneath the jaw. Fatigue makes him slow to cover, and Taker kicks out. Because you have to figure a sweet chin music can end the match at any time.
Absolutely.
But he didn't have it in him to get on him right away. That choke slam was very destructive.
Well, you know what, and again, the flexibility of a guy like Shawn Michaels, again, at that point in his career, at that age,
Yes.
it's amazing the way he can torque and bend his body and almost like get that kick like vertical.
Yes.
Depending on how close to his opponent he is and how big they are.
I don't know if I can get across with words how beautiful that moment was, because they are very close together in close combat, and he just takes a step back to get the range and just clocks him.
Yeah.
It is a thing of beauty, and honestly, it's easy to not appreciate it because that's what Shawn Michaels does. He is that good.
Yep.
He is able to fire something off like that, and you think okay, because you're used to it. You're used to him being that good.
We are live, by the way, on Lehigh Valley Underground Radio, WLVU, and streaming video live on Facebook. Facebook.com/the shows we watch. Excuse me, that was the other show. This is Then, Now, Whenever. I have 2 shows. I don't know what I'm doing. But
you should also watch the shows we watch, though. It is a fine show.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. My co-host carries that show. But we're talking about WrestleMania 25 right now, and we're talking about the feud with The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. So continue.
Honestly, as long as you can carry one of these shows, and it's me, we're good. Sometimes I need it. Both men are exhausted on the mat until a grizzled Shawn Michaels kips up to his feet. But when he tries to pick up his opponent, Taker neutralizes him with another choke. He's going for another choke slam. That's what he's... the impression he's giving. He actually goes for the last ride, his powerbomb finisher.
Oh, that's right.
But Michaels flips over him, tries for a sunset flip. Taker is actually able to grab him from beneath his leg and power him up to his shoulders again to hit the last ride. The last ride, well, a powerbomb, if you don't know wrestling that well. A powerbomb, you put a man on your shoulders with
facing you.
His belly on your chest, on your face, and you smash his back into the ground. You just smack him down.
The last ride, of course, takes to a whole other level.
Yeah. Undertaker's already a tall man. He's near 7 feet. The last ride, he lifts you up by your pants
into the air.
To his arm's length. So you're about 8 feet in the air, and then he brings you down with a thunderous crash. It's a really good improvement of that move.
I love it.
To be honest, it's amazing that somebody else didn't think of it first. Undertaker didn't really need a third finisher, but love him. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Hits that picture-perfect last ride there. But Shawn Michaels is able to kick out at 2, which is unbelievable. Undertaker is dumbfounded. Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler talk about how maybe Michaels has his number.
Right.
At this point, can Undertaker even beat him? That's one of his biggest shots. Taker makes a rare trip to the top rope to try to drop an elbow on Shawn, one of Shawn's own signature maneuvers, but Shawn is able to roll out of the way. When both men make it to their feet, Shawn Michaels rushes Taker, who matadors him and tosses him over the ropes. Michaels is able to grab the top rope,
skin the cat,
flipping him back up into the waiting arms of The Undertaker. Taker grabs him upside down, pulls him back, and drags him into the ring, and delivers a tombstone piledriver to win the match. 1, 2... No. Michaels kicks out. The face of The Undertaker tells the story. He is utterly dumbfounded. He's hit him with the choke slam, the last ride, and a tombstone, and it still wasn't enough.
And now we're watching this, and we're starting to think, wait a minute.
Yeah. Is this the end of the streak?
Is Mr. WrestleMania going to be the guy? So, God, continue.
Yes.
We're going to play some trivia here in a little bit, but we got some more to talk about.
Yes. Taker gets up full of vigor, but Michaels is still out. Taker picks him up off the ground and spins him upside down for another tombstone, but Michaels is able to tilt a whirl around and slam him with a huge DDT. Massive. It seems like the match should have been over. He has still got that fight in him. With the upper hand for the first time in minutes, he crawls his way to the corner, struggles to climb to the top, and then delivers a beautiful elbow drop right to the heart of The Undertaker. Rather than go for the cover, he moves to the other corner and tunes up the band again. When Taker gets to his feet, he is hit with that sweet chin music. Undertaker tried his best, but HBK hooks a leg and covers him for
I thought that was it.
The 1, 2... No! Undertaker kicks out! During the end of this match, there are spans of 30 to 60 seconds sometimes between moves, but the tension is so electric that it only increases the drama rather than bore you and diminish it. Both men are able to struggle to their feet, locked together as if the only reason they can stand is because they have someone to lean on. They lay in the biggest punches and chops they can muster, back and forth, until Taker knocks Michaels down with a boot to the face. Michaels is able to counter yet another tombstone, then use Undertaker's momentum against him with a boot of his own. Shawn Michaels climbs to the top turnbuckle and hits a moonsault press on the Undertaker, but no! Taker's able to grab him out of midair, walk him to the center of the ring, and spike him with another massive tombstone for the 1, 2, 3.
The thing about that tombstone,
Yes.
that seals it,
Yes.
and is just dealt with force, with intensity, with
Yes.
no, you are done. He doesn't just tombstone him; it's a jumping tombstone.
Now you're thinking of 26.
Aren't I?
Spoiler. He does not do a jumping tombstone.
Oh, was it this? Oh,
Yeah.
my bad. Hey,
Yes.
guess what?
That was
whatever. Whatever.
Then now, whatever.
But I knew there was a jumping tombstone in there somewhere.
Oh my god, that
We'll
moment.
get to that. Yeah.
But he does still have the same kind of intensity in his face, where he is able to, he is spiking him down. It is not just a regular. Yes. I just got a buzz in my pocket. That's probably Kathy telling us to keep it down.
That's all right.
Yep.
That's all right.
That
They
is
don't
exactly
care
what it
about
is.
But
So yeah, that was.
so that's 25.
Yes.
And here's the thing. Here's a couple of quick tidbits that I wanted to make sure I threw in here.
Okay.
When you're talking about that WrestleMania 25 match, first of all,
Yes.
that match wasn't even supposed to be great. It
Okay.
was supposed to be good.
Yeah.
There's still another match.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It wasn't the main event. It wasn't advertised as the main event. It was the streak match.
Yes.
Okay. And they went over their allotted time
Yeah.
halfway through the match.
Really.
Yes.
Ha.
This is all verified information.
Okay.
So they went over they went over the allotted time halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, Vince or the agent of that match, whoever is for the production side, they would tell them they would communicate to the referee, hey, the wrestlers have to cut this short, and then
Right.
go to finish.
Yes.
Well, this was different. Michael Hayes, who's the head agent at the time, the
Yeah.
lead agent,
Mm-hmm. And a snappy dresser as well. But that's another story.
they're communicating back and forth in the production area, to Vince, and he's like, "Hey, listen, Hayes says, guys, he's like, Vince, I'm sorry, he's like, there's 10 minutes left, in the match,
Yeah.
but they're still going to need another 25, to go through everything." And production's like, "Well, then we gotta send information out." And Vince actually says no. He tells production, and the quote is, "I don't care, let him go."
Yeah. I
So
can't
they-
believe this match was supposed to be truncated.
Yeah.
That bothers me.
And so
It needed to live its full life.
this match ends up stealing the show, torpedoing the main event.
Oh my god.
What was the main event?
The main event was Triple H against, was it Orton? He fought somebody, and it was a snooze.
Was it the Jericho match?
No, that was 18.
Okay, but anyway,
I'm pretty sure. I think it was Triple H Orton, Orton finally getting his big win over his former stablemate. Yeah.
And then
and there was also another. There was Cena against Big Show and Rey Mysterio, maybe. But yeah, there were 2 title matches after this.
And then this match ends up becoming the blueprint for a big match.
Yes. I actually made a note of that the future matches borrowed the template, but without the emotion of the crowd.
Yeah.
They end up being slow and boring half of the time, instead of crackling with excitement.
And then HBK actually, when speaking about this match after the fact, looking
Yes.
back, he said, that I don't think, his quote was, "I don't think I could have a better match." And there's a lot of speculation that actually is what led to his retirement the following year.
Yes.
Since he'd done it all.
Right. What else was there to do other than just try? Maybe he could have stuck around to pass on some more knowledge to young kids. He could have, there was nothing left for him to do for him.
Yeah.
There's more that he could have done for others, but I'm sure in the next year he did do a lot of that.
So now we're going to jump into WrestleMania 26 while we have some time left here on the show.
If I may, it's kind of an audible out of nowhere. Would it be out of the question to save the second match for another time when we don't have enough to talk about? Just kind of keep it in our back pocket and do some trivia.
Well, I would like to play some trivia. No, I don't want to. No, we're not going to go long. We're going to stick to the timeline. We can do some trivia. We can talk more in depth about 26 another time, but I do want to just bullet point it very quickly. WrestleMania 26, of course, a year later, has the great build-up. And again, we can talk about that on another episode.
Yes.
I mean, you can talk HBK and Taker and make it a two-parter.
Yes.
But
I don't remember if I mentioned this during the one of the breaks or not, but search out that the promo that had that placebo song running up that hill. If you search for any combination of those words, it does a beautiful job of encapsulating what this match was and why, where Shawn Michaels, his head got to by the time he asked for this match. Because at this point, he kept asking The Undertaker for another match because it's like, I know I can beat you. I made one mistake. I shouldn't have done that moonsault. If I get another chance, I can end the streak. I want to fight you at WrestleMania. Undertaker kept saying no. And he wouldn't accept it until he finally just was like, you know what? You hurt me. If you put your career on the line, we'll have the match.
I'll tell you what we can do.
And Shawn Michaels said that if he can't beat The Undertaker, he doesn't want to have a career.
Yeah.
So.
I'll tell you what. We can talk about this off the air.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe what we'll do is, if we want to create some bonus content for our YouTube channel.
Okay.
What we can do is, let's see if you and I can get together maybe next Monday or Tuesday, for half an hour.
Okay.
We'll talk WrestleMania 26 in depth, and you can add it on to the end of our podcast. You know what I mean?
Well, I usually put the podcast up before that, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or you can add it up as a separate bit. But anyway, with the time we have left, I just want to mention WrestleMania 26 was the career versus the streak. This time, it rightfully was the main event of the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And while this match wasn't as good, it was still an instant classic. It lived up to the hype, and of course, it ends up with The Undertaker winning again against all odds of HBK, trying as hard as he might.
Yeah.
Which of course, it concluded the jumping tombstone.
Was huge.
But of course, the next night,
God,
Shawn Michaels announces his retirement. And the thing I wanted to point out was there's so much respect between these two after that long history they have, after how much of a jerk HBK was, his addiction problems, the embarrassment that he the fool he made of himself in that room on the final night of Nitro.
Yeah.
And yet when the Undertaker, or when Shawn Michaels announced his retirement, who but the Undertaker comes out from the back, his opponent from the night before, and and basically salutes him.
Yes, he does what the Undertaker does and goes to one knee and puts his hand out.
So, to me, and there's so much we can talk about WrestleMania 26, and I think we'll definitely do that, whether on a future episode or if we do bonus content.
Yes.
But let's have a little bit of fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight.
Absolutely.
In just a few minutes here, as we go off the air, we're going to play the beautiful Distortion, an incredible band, and I'll mention their track. But let's play a little WrestleMania trivia.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Thank you guys, by the way, for watching the show.
All right.
And listening.
I'm going to ask you some questions.
So tell me, what is this trivia based on?
It is just things from WrestleManias 25 and 26 that were kind of interesting.
Okay.
And
see what I know.
Yes.
Or remember.
Okay. The oldest wrestler to ever appear at WrestleMania appeared at WrestleMania 25. Who do you think that might have been?
At 25.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you a quick question.
Yes.
Was there, remind me, was there a gimmick match that featured legends?
Yes.
Was it Jimmy Superfly Snuka?
It was. Good job. All right. Also at WrestleMania 25.
Was that the Rourke one?
That was where Jericho fought legends.
Yes.
And somebody actually also retired at that WrestleMania and never had another match again. Do you remember who that might have been? Sorry, I'm trying to fire through these.
No, it's okay. Somebody retired after that WrestleMania.
They actually, if I can give you more of a hint, after the match,
was it Trish Stratus?
It was not. They actually went on a rant and said, "I quit. I quit."
JBL?
It was JBL. That was a great moment.
Because it was in Texas.
It came out of nowhere. It's like, wait, what? And no, that he never wrestled again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In his home state?
Yes. There was another streak, actually two streaks, also happening at WrestleMania 25. Actually, I don't know how to phrase this as a question, but it's interesting.
What was the streak? And I'll see if I can guess whose it was, or will I know right away?
It's not like that.
Okay.
It's actually kind of trickier.
Give it to me.
I believe I was going to ask you how long you think these streaks went. The streaks were that the WWE Championship was retained for a certain number of consecutive shows at that point.
Consecutive shows or pay-per-views?
Oh, consecutive WrestleManias. Let me say it that way. And the World Championship at that point had switched hands for a number of consecutive pay-per-views.
I'm going to say consecutive WrestleManias or pay-per-views.
Sorry, I said it wrong again. Consecutive WrestleManias.
Okay, the World Championship, I'm going to say 7.
Close. It was 6.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And then the WWE Championship.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm going to say... Was Brock Lesnar the last person to lose it?
He may have... No, I don't believe he was, thinking about what I know.
Okay. How long was it?
It was 4 straight, which is not terribly impressive, but when you consider, that it's essentially a coin flip, it's amazing that both of those had a pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a couple more in if you got them.
Okay. Do you remember? I believe you would know this. During that Undertaker Shawn Michaels match, there was a cameraman who didn't quite catch the Undertaker. Do you remember who that was?
I don't.
That was Jimmy Snuka's son, Sim, who you might remember as Deuce from Deuce and Domino.
No way.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Deuce and Domino recently.
Fact.
That's interesting.
We also had a returning male star, because the women's battle royal, they had like the Miss Wrestlemania Diva Battle Royal at that one. But there was a male superstar who had not wrestled since 2005, so he was gone for 4 years.
He was gone for 4 years.
Yes.
And he returned?
Yeah, this was his first pay-per-view since actually No Mercy in 2005.
Had he been advertised, or was this a surprise return?
I couldn't actually tell you.
Okay.
I'm going to say that I think he was supposed to be there, but I don't remember. I do not recall.
4 years.
Yes. Well, probably like 3.5, because No Mercy tends to be a late pay-per-view.
I'm just trying to think here for a quick second.
Okay.
Does it have anything to do with the location? That it was in Texas?
I'm going to say no.
Give me a hint if you can without giving it away. Is there a way to give me a hint? Can you tell me who he worked?
He had been in TNA.
Was it Christian?
It was Christian.
That was I was actually going to guess
That's
Christian.
Where you were going. I don't actually remember who he worked on that pay-per-view, otherwise I would have given you that.
I was going to guess Christian. And then I was like, better give me a hint.
That's crazy, because
it was Impact.
I would have never thought that. But yeah, like he had gone down to TNA and in a shocking turn of events became a bigger star there than he ever got to be in WWE. And I actually in TNA I don't believe he ever lost. Or he might have lost, but I believe when he became champion very quickly, and then did not lose that championship. He lost it through ill means.
Amazing.
But that's classic Impact.
You got one more in there?
Oh yeah, of course. I can.
We're gonna do them quick. I'll take 2. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's just do one more. The Intercontinental Championship. It was the first time that it had been on a WrestleMania for some time. When do you think the last WrestleMania was that the IC... I was amazed by this. It seems like the Intercontinental Championship should be
a mainstay.
Every WrestleMania, and when it's not, it is an abomination. It is a true aberration. Other A words that end with shun.
I'm gonna say it had been... Okay, let's see. So it wouldn't have obviously been on 24, 23... I'm going to say the last time the Intercontinental Championship was on... I mean, I'm going to guess that I'm off by the way you're saying it, that it was even longer than this. But, I mean, it had to have been a WrestleMania 20. Every belt should have been defended, right?
It would amaze you to find out. It was WrestleMania 18. From 2002. It actually, this is the first time the Intercontinental Champion had been defended during the John Cena era that we cover here.
On
WrestleMania.
That is unbelievable.
It's absurd.
Who was the champion?
I don't know. I
I'll have to
didn't
find that out.
I didn't look that up. I found some good trivias.
Eh.
And I moved on.
Well, listen.
Yes.
Thank you for pulling together the trivia.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Thank you for.
Wish I could do more.
I hope you enjoyed rewatching. You're watching those matches back.
I recommend it wholeheartedly. If you've got an hour and a half with the entrances, go back, watch those 2 matches, borrow somebody's WWE Network subscription if you don't have one. They are brilliant matches.
And you know what? Take our challenge here. I'm going to call this the TSW show or the TNW show challenge.
Yes.
Find someone who has never watched pro wrestling or has no real interest in it. Not somebody that hates pro wrestling by definition, but just somebody who's like, it's not my thing. Ask them to watch WrestleMania 25, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, and I dare them to not find themselves invested in the match as it goes on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The drama and the storytelling is incredible. But listen, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight, every Thursday night, live on WLVU, Lehigh Valley Underground Radio. Thank you guys for watching out there on Facebook. We'll get this uploaded to YouTube and our other social media as soon as we can.
Absolutely.
And our podcast. And you know what? Before we go,
oh yes,
it's the Big Spin, Cookie Von Wheeler.
That's right.
And he will choose next week's topic. And we will try and get our WrestleMania 26 discussion about Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. We'll either carry it to another episode in the future, or we'll try and get some bonus content up.
Yes.
Let's get a spin here for more reason.
All right. Here we go. Oh, that's so satisfying every single time. All right, what have we got?
You ready?
Yep.
It's gonna be Gimmuck.
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 I wanted to call it Gim-ech.
This is
but that doesn't write as well.
So this topic, basically, we want to talk about a gimmick that was just like why? Like, what was behind that? Like that's the best you could come up with, you know? And where it either took, a wrestler who had no shot and was just like, well, I guess we'll just throw this on him and see if it works, or a guy who was, a great talent and they just booked him horribly. Yeah. We're going to be talking about, I think, if I remember correctly, Brodus Clay.
Oh, yes.
We're going to be talking about the Funkasaurus and the Funkadactyls a little bit. So make sure you tune in next Thursday night for that, 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
Yes,
live
next Thursday, Funk's going to be on a roll.
Funk's going to be on
Funk is on a roll.
Funk will be on a roll, and you'll be able to roll with us here on Lehigh Valley Underground Radio. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna head out and
next Thursday. Join us then.
Now? No.
Whenever.
This next song that we're gonna bring to you guys. By the way, well done.
Eat a butt. Last time. That phrase.
The song we're a band called Beautiful Distortion. Incredible band from the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania area. Look them up. Their music is all over the place. This is Voices by the Beautiful Distortion. This is Then, Now, Whenever signing off. We'll see you next Thursday, Lehigh Valley Underground Radio. Bye.